There's lots of different ways of managing risk, and we get pretty geeky about it sometimes. But transferring the risk is the simplest one to do, but only if you do it right, right? So a risk transfer is when you understand your risk and you take a piece of it that you decide you don't want to own, and you, instead of doing something about it, you pay someone else to just own that risk, and it's great. And you've convinced me, but I know that our partners, our service providers, and their clients are all asking for cyber insurance, or sometimes think they're covered, and they need to be educated by their service provider. But there's a lot of difficulty in the how, because this has changed a lot just the last 2 years, right? The types of organizations that are now being long formed, the capacity that's in place for different types of, and I'm using more cyber or more insurance jargon here. The capacity, which is like these insurance industries' ability to absorb risk for a specific type of risk. It's changed a lot the last couple of years. I know that 6 months ago, people were freaked out because they were getting declined everywhere. Like, people couldn't get through renewals. And from a service provider perspective, it was scary because your end client just invested all this money with you, and they thought that they'd be able to get a policy, and then all of a sudden they go out to get that policy, and they're getting denied everywhere. So I know that the process here is something that a good agency can help you with, but let's just discuss what that process looks like. So it begins with, of course, the client looking for a renewal, right, which is not so simple because the requirements change every year. Or an organization maybe for the first time deciding they want to really take care of this in a comprehensive way. The first phone call might be to their agency, but it also equally might be to their service provider to say, I'm looking for insurance. I know this might be difficult to get. Can you help me?
Yeah.
Right? What do they need to do to prepare? What do they need before they call?
Well, I want to just address like your unique, client base. MSPs have had a really tough time with cyber insurance over the past couple of years, and it's not the same experience that I think a lot of different classes of business have been having. We've been hearing a lot, I think, in the news, or maybe just in my cyber world, about catastrophic risk, supply chain loss. These are concerns that a lot of carriers have. If a managed services provider has a ransomware that also impacts their clients, and I won't use any names, but there is some software that, that all the companies use. I mean, an insurance company could be on the hook for claims from not just the managed service provider, but all of those different clients. And I certainly saw that even as a claims adjuster, and it happens all the time. It happened with SolarWinds, for example. And SolarWinds is a great example of how when you are a managed services provider, you have this additional risk that has to be assessed.